Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Redacted Report. I am your host.
No, don't do this. Enough is enough.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location. In today's top story, Sasha Banks and Naomi walk out of Monday Night Raw because they're unhappy with their creative. Now, the word is they were going to be part of the six-pack challenge to determine the number one contender for Bianca Belair's Raw Women's Championship, and they weren't too happy with how that was laid out, and I guess that there was a lack of forethought and future planning into the Women's Tag Team Championship reign, which, I do agree with that, but those belts are pretty useless anyway. They should have never introduced them anyway, so they could just get rid of them and no one would really know. But I just want to talk for a few minutes about obviously what I think about it, and I have a different opinion than a lot of people because there's a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people on social media that are talking about how like Sasha and Naomi are victims and they were treated badly by WWE and they were right to walk out. And some of that I disagree with. The whole walking out thing, if you want to walk out, it's your money. That's all there is to that. It's your money. You could probably make as much, if not more, elsewhere. But if you think you're going to go, like if they think, like Sasha especially, I figured Naomi will be back, but Sasha, because apparently her contract is up fairly soon anyway, and she's been wanting to be released for years because I think she's just been a whiny malcontent who bitches and complains because she's not getting her way, but someone needs to tell Sasha Banks that she is not on the same level as a Becky Lynch or a Charlotte. She's just not. Not as an on-camera character, not in the ring. She's not very good in the ring. She's average in the ring. She botches a lot of stuff. Like I said, I call her Sasha Botch for a reason. And I don't like her. She's got this attitude and this arrogance and entitlement that she has not earned at all, in my opinion. Now, she may have earned a few chits here and there, and maybe they could have pushed her a little better, sure, but the fact of the matter is, she's not going to be anyone that thousands of people pay hundreds of dollars per ticket to see. But she's not like Charlotte, Becky Lynch, or even Ronda Rousey or Bianca Belair right now. She's just not. And she never has been and never will be. Now, and I don't... they want to walk out fine, but they're not victims, okay? In my opinion, they threw a petulant little fit, took their tights, and went home. Because they weren't getting their way. Okay? Not everyone can be pushed to the top of the card, okay? And her creative has not been great. It could be a lot better. Naomi is a pretty good competitor. I think she's actually a better in-ring performer than Sasha is, in my opinion. So, I don't disagree with their creative and their storylines and things could be better. But let's face it, creative in pro wrestling across the board in any company could be better. Pro wrestling sucks. So, just do your thing and collect your paycheck. Or quit, which they quit. But to call them victims and how the WWE did them wrong and everything, and how they're innocent and they have have no responsibility, and them quitting right before the show, where they had to change it at the last minute, which Vince changes the show at the last minute anyway, so that's just par for the course for them. But people are calling the WWE because they've edited out the intro packages for the television shows, the shop, all the social media things. They've edited them out of the thing, and they're calling the WWE petty for doing that. And they're not being petty. These two individuals who have been suspended indefinitely, like I said, I think Naomi will come back. Sasha won't. I don't think Sasha's ever come back to the WWE, which I'll talk about that in a second because that's going to be a pretty funny outcome. But that's not WWE being petty. That's business. They're not a part of the company anymore. So, and the WWE is being petty for editing the people who aren't a part of the company anymore out of their promotional videos and packages, but they're not petty for just leaving right when a live show goes on the air, and that's not petty and unprofessional. Like I said, WWE has some responsibility in this, but people who think that Sasha and Naomi have no responsibility in this are dead wrong. Period. They're dead wrong. there's plenty of blame to go around, and a lot of that blame pie is they're going to have to take a bite. Naomi and Sasha are going to have to take a bite of it. But like I said, I think that's it for Sasha because, like I said, she requested her release, but maybe a year ago, and she was denied. And then they pushed her, put the title on her again. But I mean, people like her, but she's not as over as Becky Lynch or Charlotte, and I can argue she's not as over as Bayley. And Sasha Banks has had issues with her attitude before, and I'm surprised she's still with the company. I think simply because she's Snoop Dogg's cousin is the only reason why she was still employed anyway. Because I remember a few years ago when her and Bayley were the Raw Tag Team Champions, and they found out that they were the day of WrestleMania. They found out they were going to lose the Tag Team Championships to the Iconics. So both Bayley and Sasha, apparently in quote unquote protest, laid on the locker room floor and refused to get up. Eventually they did get up and they went and did their job, but still, like, why isn't anyone talking about how unprofessional that behavior is, okay? I'm sorry that you can't win every match, but that's not the way things work in wrestling, especially in shitty wrestling that we have today. But, I mean, if it were me in charge, I would have, if I was like, if you don't want to get up, then fine, just go. I'll have security escort you out, you're fired, and don't expect a paycheck from me. So, Sasha has had a history of throwing little fits and tantrums when she doesn't get her way, so I say good riddance to Sasha. She's not that good anyway, and people who think that she's gonna go and like just light it up in AEW, yeah, she doesn't like. She bitches and complains about playing second fiddle or third fiddle rather to Becky, any combination of Charlotte, Becky, Bianca, and even Bayley and all those things, third, fourth, fifth fiddle to the rest of these women. And how do you think she's going to react and take it when she goes to AEW and she's sitting here basically carrying in Jade Cargill's bags and jobbing out to Britt Baker on TV, and then eventually after a 3-week run on Dynamite, jobbing to Abaddon on AEW Dark Elevation? I mean, really. So, if you think that she's going to be better booked in AEW, you obviously haven't been watching the AEW product, because it's not. She'll probably get paid more because she's a name, and she can take the Mark's money down there. But the fact of the matter is, she's not Britt Baker, she's not Jade Cargill, and she's not a Japanese girl that dresses up like a 12-year-old that Kenny Omega loves so much. So, like I said, she'll get the Keith Lee treatment. What was it, 2 weeks after Keith Lee before he was on Dark, and he makes sporadic appearances, but let's face it, I mean, Tony Khan would just pay them an assload of his daddy's money to just have her on some form of his show, whether it's a TV show or the YouTube show or whatever. But Sasha Banks will not be any more of a player in AEW than she would be in WWE. Now, Impact maybe, but she won't make near as much money in Impact, so Tony Khan will offer way more money than Impact could. Now, if she went to Impact, she could actually be a bigger star in Impact than she would be in WWE or AEW, because there's some talented ladies there, but yeah, it's just not the same. But that's basically what I think about it. Naomi will come back eventually. They need her to babysit her boozy-ass husband anyway. I'm surprised she went back to Raw or is she on Raw, or is she on both shows because she's the champion? I don't know, I haven't watched it much, but so Naomi will be back. Sasha will probably, and what is May 21st? Is that June, July, August? I say around September she'll probably debut, and she'll feud with whoever the champion is, but she won't. She'll just be like Ruby Soho. She'll have a couple of matches, and then, people will be like, oh yeah, she's on the roster, I forgot about her. So, and that's the way I see it. Let me know what you think in the comments section. And I thank you for watching, and I hope you join me next time on the Redacted Report. Take care.